Falcons fans, welcome in to episode 11. Mike, I think it's 11. And it's the recap show of the Patriots Falcons game, which was pretty depressing overall. There's a few bright spots, but I mean like one basically. But that's about it. But and then we'll get into also on this show a little bit of salary cap talk after we review it. But Mike, how's your weekend going, buddy?
It's going good. Very, very good. Hey man, I got a funny story. So I got to see the I forget that fast. The Atlanta Gladiators last night.
Oh, Gwinnett Gladiators. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I go and get to see them. It was a cool experience. I'm gonna tell you the funny thing. Like the girl I was with, get her seat is the one that like got chosen out of like all the seats for the sweepstakes bag or for the gifters. Yeah. So we thought that it was like a huge prize, like because you think, oh man, it's you know, it was like
koozie.
You know when you know, like it was like a hockey puck and a shirt, a t-shirt, like you motherfucker. Yeah. So, but it was still pretty, it was a great experience. I'm gonna tell you, really cool experience to have, man.
Yeah, it's a minor league hockey.
And I'm gonna tell you, hockey is I never was a fan because it's boring on TV. It is not boring in person.
Oh, in person is way different.
Great game in person. It was a few fights, so that was really exciting. It was great. Great experience, man.
Then I mean, they're a minor league hockey team, so I'm sure they got when you win the prize, it's like
right.
A few little t-shirts for you, maybe.
Man, hey, John, I swear, I mean, in my mind, I'm already on a cruise to Jamaica for 7 weeks. I mean, for 7 days, it's $10,000. Like, because you thinking, oh, they picked this seat out of all the seats. Oh God. And then it was like a grab, like a what you call it, a swag bag. It was shit like that. Like it was like ridiculous things. Like, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That was incredible. Yeah, but they tried. And I'm gonna tell you, it was like a theory I have too that me and like the girl had was that maybe we were the only black people in this whole stadium, right?
I was about to say, I bet you were.
Maybe they were probably like, we gonna get them to come back. We gonna get them to tell their buddies. This is pretty cool that they here, you know. So we just gonna act like it's a random thing, and we gonna pick the two black people. That is amazing.
That is hysterical, man.
But it was it, man. I'm telling you, a great live game. You man, underrated is live hockey.
Yeah, I agree. I wish Atlanta. I mean, it pissed me off when the Thrashers left. I wish they
didn't they. I was gonna say they had one.
Yeah. We just couldn't field enough, or we couldn't get enough people to come to the stadium, man. So it was just
man, where was it?
It was Atlanta. It was they played at where the Hawks play. I mean the Omni and
okay.
Yeah.
And you say like the people wasn't showing up.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It didn't catch fire like
now in general.
I think if they brought it back now, I think it would actually succeed, to be honest. Yeah.
Man, hey, so I got a question for you. In general, is the it's like hockey, is that only big up north? Like, is there no teams in the South that people go crazy?
No, I mean Tampa Bay won. I think they won it last year. They won the Stanley Cup last year. So like,
and it's a huge fan base there.
Yeah, they
in Florida.
They bring them to that's what I'm saying. If it can succeed in Florida, I mean, like you think it would succeed here.
Yeah, you think.
I mean, with them. Yeah. I mean, our population, and I mean the way, and I know it's different, but I mean the way United took off. I mean, in the city. I mean,
and it's a great mix of people here too.
Yeah. And speaking of United, I am wearing my United jersey today because they are starting their playoff run today against NYFC. Actually, we're recording this right now as Dave just kicked off a few minutes ago. And dude, before we get into it, I was looking at the scores from today. I mean, we got the Colts beating the hell out of the Bills. Now it's 38-7 in the third quarter. We got the Texans up on the Titans 19-6 in the third. They just ended the third quarter. I mean, it's some weird day today. The Washington football team is up on Carolina 21-14, and the Saints are getting beat down 30-7 by the Eagles.
Good.
Yes, good. Exactly.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. No, I'll never say that shit.
Yeah.
I can't stand the so anyway, Mike, we're going to get on to we got an email from a listener.
That's awesome.
Yep, that is awesome. Is from Dion. And I don't know. I kind of know what he's getting at. You guys will probably be able to figure it out as you hear this email. So he's addressing it to me. He said, John, you're a Braves fan, right? I'm curious if you feel the same way about Ozuna as you did about Vic as far as he coming back to play for your team. And would you feel the same way if your beloved Matt Ryan got caught doing the same thing as Vic?
So putting Johnny on the hot seat.
That's cool, man. I'll take it. I mean, that's right. If you're gonna. All right. So yes, of course. Okay. So for those of you that don't follow the Braves, Marcell Ozuna was arrested earlier in the season for domestic assault. I believe that was the charge. I mean, his neighbor heard some screaming, yelling, so the cops came, and I think what they saw was he had his hand around her throat up against the wall. At least that's what the original report said. Now they've had a history, he and his wife, like she assaulted him a few years ago with like a pan or some shit. I can't remember what it was. So they have this, this history. Regardless, I don't care. No, I do not want to see Marcell Ozuna playing for the Braves again. That's the easy answer for me. Okay. I don't. Of course, I feel the same way about it. I mean, no. If you putting your hands on a woman is the lowest thing you could possibly do in my eyes. I mean, unless she's literally out of her mind, beating the hell out of you with a bat, or she's about to shoot you in the face. Like, there's no other reason for me that you're gonna put your hands on a woman, just period. So easy. And would I feel the same way if Matt got caught in a dog fighting? Yes, hell yes. Yeah. I love Matt. I mean, dude, if Freddie Freeman, Chipper Jones, these are guys that Ken Griffey Jr. I don't give a shit who it is, man. Like, if it doesn't matter to me, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what, I don't care what religion you are, and none of that shit matters. If he got caught today or tomorrow and they said, yeah, he was, fucking running a dog ring and, whatever, I would feel the same exact way. I'd want him off the team. I want him to do a year of prison. I don't care. Like, to me, that's just, like I said, I don't know what you're getting at there. I mean, you don't know me. Obviously, dude doesn't know me, and that's fine. But yeah,
what John is saying is, man, wrong is wrong and right is right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
regardless of who's doing it.
Yeah. So,
and I love Matt Ryan. It'll be hard for me to condemn him, but I throw him right under the bus if he did something scumbaggish. I don't think anybody's going to excuse that because he played for the Falcons.
No, like I said, like I said, we appreciate the email, Dion. Everybody is,
yeah, we really do appreciate it. Everybody. Good question. Trying to put John on the hot seat like that.
Everybody's shaped by their own experiences. So you like I said, doesn't know me, but yeah, anything like that, man. And that leads into the and we'll talk about this just briefly because it was all over the place this week. But the video of Zach Stacy, former running back, beating the hell out of his girlfriend.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. Man, that was brutal. And I just want to touch on that. That was brutal. And I want to say, like John said earlier, man, it's one thing, I think, if you're being physically attacked, you always have the right to defend yourself. If that female, baby, the old man, elderly person, if somebody's attacking you, if it's an animal, like, you want to stop them and get them off you. So I'll hear your argument. At that one, I knew, like, what
he can't bull rush. He's not big enough. He tried at one point on the right tackle, went nowhere. He's got to go around. He's got to use his speed and go around, or make him fake or go inside, something like that. He can't. And I watched him on the left. I thought I was watching Vic Beasley again. He spun.
That's what it looked like.
But That's what it looked like. The left tackle didn't have to. The right tackle didn't have to move. He just was just like. He just held his hands out, and dude was stopped. There was no point to even spinning. It didn't fool anybody.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. No, yeah, I hope. I don't know. And I was looking.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I already have been peeping that. Like, I just see him, and I see, like, he do stuff once in a blue moon. Yeah. For the great majority, man, he's just on the field. Like, so you're not really that one of those people that we can point to and say he be kind of doing this thing. He make a difference. He doesn't, man. Waste of money. Honestly.
Yeah, a lot. He's not cheap either, by the way. Which we'll get to that in a little bit. So in the fourth quarter, we had the pick by Matt. It looked like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Pitts was confused, but he just looked like to me like he stopped running on the route. That
he
deep
was confused.
He just stopped running. And all of a sudden, of course, pick goes over, throwing, and McCourty, comes over, intercepts the ball. But he, I don't know. It's that wasn't good. And then another field goal by Nick Folk made it 16-0, and then another field goal made it 19-0. And then I don't know if we made NFL history or not, but we brought in Rosen at that point, and then we brought in Franks, and they both threw interceptions. So all three of our quarterbacks threw interceptions in that game, which is some poor Falcon shit right there.
Yeah, it really is. Man, it was no, I'm gonna tell you, like usually I write notes during the game. And I have like a list of topics that I want to hit and points that I want to speak on. And man, I had 2 notes at the end of that game, man. It was nothing to there was no good point. It was nothing. No. Like it was just like it's the second week in a row where you look like junior varsity. There's nothing to take. He didn't have time to throw. Was one of my notes, and I'll tell you the other one right now. It's probably something. Hold on for a minute. I just want to prove to you. Matt's hurt. It was no. He didn't have time, and the other one was 2 words. It said Matt's hurt, and it was just like, that was when you can't block. There is no other topic to talk about. You cannot run or pass. That's the game. You will have literal 0 points. We had 0 points. Like there's no, you can't do. But I've been saying for years, man, that offensive line is one of the worst. They band together at times and they play decent, but overall, that's one of the worst offensive line in football. And it's repeated year after year with seldom bright spots. Year after year, they don't shore that up. And I just think of where will we be if they address that. And I understand we got holes everywhere, but man, I always been a Falcon fan. Ever since Matt came, I said, where will we be if we shored that up one time? We just never did it.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at, it's weird. Like you said, there's no consistency really. I mean, Jalen Mayfield, during this Cowboys game, he had a 90 player rating. He was our highest rated player.
They play together sometimes. Yep.
And he played, and he's been the one that's been getting killed all year by us, by everybody, by whoever's lining up across from him. Everybody's been beating Jalen Mayfield all year. And like we said before, he is a rookie. So I'm not going to just slam him because he's been thrown into the fire and having to learn on the go. But and I think he may have a future. We don't know. We haven't seen enough yet. There's been a lot of bad, a little bit of good. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the season pans out. But that's it. You kind of, his success is kind of hedging on everybody else's success on the line. So you can't have one dominant guy and everybody else suck.
No. Yes.
That's kind of what So, but looking at the overall summary, I saw the attendance. They said 68,000 people were there. Can you believe? I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't.
If so, that was the quietest 68,000 I've ever seen. Now, granted, there was literally nothing to be loud about.
I was just about to say the only reason why I can't really say, because that was a very, like I said, I didn't even have notes. That was a very dry game. It was nothing. There was no even. Maybe it was nothing. It was nothing.
I was hoping they didn't do wide shots of the stadium. I'm like, damn. People are already on the Falcons fans for enough shit, and you're gonna put us some prime time and like nobody there. But they said, like I said, I don't know what it got 68,000 from. I don't know.
To come out like you remember when we was talking like how would they come out? It would say a lot. Like to come out like that was wildly frustrating. Like it was really frustrating because you literally put up no points. Feel what I'm saying? So you put up no points. Man, that effort is, it was no fight. It was like you got jumped the previous week and you came back and got beat up again. Like, so this is like, feel me? Like, so bad feeling.
We were half right though. Like in our predictions, which we were all wrong, of course. But I felt that we would show up and fight, and our defense did. They showed up and fought.
Yes.
The offensive line, the offense in general, they obviously did not. And it wouldn't. And I don't know. It's not from a lack of heart, or in my opinion, it's just they're not very good. In my opinion.
No, I agree.
They're just not very good. So, and you look at the wide receiving core, they can't get separation. they can't. They're just not good. I mean, Russell Gage is not supposed to be your number one wide receiver in any universe.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he ain't supposed to be that on Madden.
No.
On nothing, on a video game in college, in Little League, on nothing.
And like we talked about too, number one on the previous game, on the pregame show, and you said multiple times that, Belichick takes away your best weapon. And I mean, Pitts was that, and he took him away. I mean, he didn't. Yes. I mean, he had what, 3 catches, something like that. I mean, and Cordell did not play, which we thought he might leading up to the game, but he was out there giving it a go in pregame warmups. And I guess it just didn't feel good enough. So he did not go, which sucked because, like I said, I mean, that left us with Gallman and Allison and Smith. And anyway, I mean, so with the quarterbacks, I mean, Matt was 19 for 28, 153 yards, 2 picks and 4 sacks. On the other hand, Mac Jones 22 for 26, 207 yards, which is not. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, that's. I mean, he was very efficient. I mean, he completed his day.
Very high. I agree.
But I mean, 207 yards and a touchdown, and he threw 1 pick. It was nothing crazy. I mean, if our offense could do literally anything, then we had a chance to win that game. I mean, just to be in the game. Our leading rusher was Quadri Allison with 34 yards on 9 carries, and really he had a couple of big runs. So that's not even really reflective of our other running backs of Gallman and Smith, and which was a fullback, and who am I leaving out? Gallman, Smith, and mind blank. Davis, Mike Davis.
You skipped over Mike Davis. Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, because they all combined for a total of 6 yards on 7 carries.
Right.
So, I mean,
right.
That's partial them. That's partial. They have no.
Hold on, man. That's the total for the game.
No, that was those 3 guys. So,
okay.
So Allison had 34 yards on 9 carries, and then they had 6 yards on 7 carries together.
Right.
Russell Gage was our top receiver at 5 catches and 49 yards. Pitts had 3 for 29. Foye was our leading tackler with 10, and he had the 1 sack. And then Darren Hall had a sack. Then Fowler and Eric Harris was credited with half a sack. I think when Eric came through on that blitz, this is when they both kind of got there. That was more Harris than it was Fowler, in my opinion. I mean, Fowler got around the edge, but he didn't do anything. But looking at real quick at the team stats, because they're not, I mean, nothing really, like Mike said, it was kind of a boring type of game, but 20 first downs to our 11. They were 4 for 12 on third, which, I mean, dude, if we hold to a team for 4 for 12 on third down, that I think it's pretty solid.
No, yes, really solid. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, man, it was I could not honestly, really and truly, the team sucked, but it was more the offense than the defense. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was more because the defense they even made a few stops where it was 3 and out, and we got the ball back. So I can't really. They did do something.
Yeah.
But the offense couldn't get anything going.
Nope. And on the other side, we were 2 for 11, the third down. I mean, and we were 1 for 2 on fourth. And I mean, we already went over those plays. But they, as far as total plays ran by the offenses, dude, they only ran 7 more plays than we did. Right. They ran 59 plays. We ran 52. The biggest difference is 308 total yards to 165 total yards.
With a rookie quarterback, bro. With a rookie quarterback.
We both each had 11 drives. They had 174 passing yards to our 125. And you said last week that we have to be at a minimum of 80 to 100 yards rushing per game, and we couldn't have another 34-yard performance. Well, we had a 40-yard performance. We had 40 yards to their 134 yards.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Embarrassing.
Penalties. They had 5 for 59, and we had that. Well, I don't know if it was the first, second quarter, man. We were just getting flag after flag, and we had 9 for 72. Red zone, they were 1 for 3. We were 0 for 2, and of course, the turnover margin was not even close. We had the one. They had 1 turnover to our 4. So that's, I mean, if I read this out to you and you not watched the game, you would have pretty much said, okay, we probably didn't score anything, or we might have got 3.
And again, everybody stunk. It was no good Matt Ryan. It was everybody stunk. Even our coaching stunk. We got out coached, out quarterbacked, outran, out received, man, out offensive line, out defensive line, out special teamed. It was it was an all in all. It was a shellacking.
Yeah. So I started to see, a lot more stuff on social media about questioning Smith's job, like his job security. So I still think it's way early, but I mean,
I was thinking, man, I think you gotta let it. You gotta give him a season, man. I think you don't even start doing that this season at all. This season, I think maybe when it's over, you look at it, but you don't do that during the season, man. You gotta think this dude inherited a lot of bullshit. He trying to clean up, and you can't do that in one draft. You can't do that in one free agent period.
Right.
You can't do that, man. Let him see if he can cook up Thanksgiving dinner, man. But that take a long time. You can't do that in an hour.
Right. And that's the thing that, I mean, Falcons fans as a whole don't have a whole lot of patience for, which I don't 100% get, because it's not like we have a history of a huge winning franchise. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like,
right. Like we got a standard of excellence that we just cannot come off of.
The only thing that does work, I mean, like half the roster is from guys that Fontenot and Smith put on the field this year.
Nah, right.
So, I mean, like they either went out and free. Now, granted, they're shopping at like the Dollar Tree, right? I mean, they're not going into
right.
The guys they had to put on the fields because they couldn't afford to put much else on the field. That's the thing. Which leads us right into a little bit of salary cap talk.
Okay. And this is important for y'all listeners who feel like we need to do something fast in a hurry, and what changes need to be made, and how much money we have to do certain things, and why we haven't gone after certain players that became available.
Yeah. And well, before we do that though, Mike, any final thoughts on the game, or you think, I mean, that's
yeah, man, it's hard. I go back to what we originally. It's just hard to be a Falcon fan, man, because I feel like the Falcons don't even always show up or always fight. In the last two games, we didn't even get to say like, yeah, well, it was close, like we rumbled, like, and that's all I ever want, is for it to be a game where you say, well, they beat us, but we kind of was. And to not be able to say that for 2 straight weeks, where you really got your ass kicked for 2 straight weeks, like embarrassed twice in a row.
Yeah.
It say a lot about your team, man, when you get embarrassed. Like I said, I know it's the Patriots, but it ain't the Tom Brady. It ain't Randy Moss over there.
Yeah.
It ain't Tom Brady over there. It ain't Wes Walk over there. So it's like, you could have done better than 0. I can tell you that. I have no respect for it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, it's kind of amplified how many holes that we have to fill these last 2 weeks, because I mean, you look across the field, and I'm watching college football yesterday, and I'm seeing guys. I'm like, man, he'd be nice to have on the team, man. He'd be nice to have on the team, man. But dude, it's so many different. It's like so many different people that I'm looking at. Like, I wish we could draft them all, but it's not going to be a quick fix. I mean, unfortunately. I mean, and like you said, I mean, I want the team to show up and fight. I think the short week hurt them. To be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought like we've talked about, I think the defense did what they could. They showed up, they made some plays. The offense was terrible. The line was, and it all starts with the line, ends with the line. They were just garbage. I mean, we've got to make changes there clearly going forward. But I mean, overall, I mean, we got the Jaguars coming up, dude, and there may not be a worse team than them. So I do feel confident about that. But I mean, as far as our schedule, what we have left, I mean, I think the Saints are beatable, as we've already shown. So I think we can beat the Saints. I think we can beat the Jaguars. I think we can beat the Lions. Everybody else, I'm not so sure about. I mean, it's the Buccaneers, it's the Panthers, it's the Bills.
So I do want to say this too. I do want to make this point about the game. I think Troy Aikman really helped Matt Ryan's his like understanding worldwide. Maybe.
Agreed.
If you was watching that, because I think he made a lot of good points. Like it's stuff that I say, but then people would say, "Well, you just a Matt Ryan fan," so of course. But from Troy Aikman to say it, Troy Aikman Hall of Famer, for Troy to be kind of he was annoyed. He seemed annoyed. Like, how dare y'all criticize Matt Ryan? Like, if y'all knew how good this dude was and what he dealing with and and what he's done with this, like, y'all, man, this dude is one of the best. And I've been a fan of his for a long time. He got a shitty line. He did everything but curse. Right. So I like what Troy did, and I think that's going to help Matt in the long run with a lot of stuff, with a lot of people. I think he made some good points.
Yeah, I've never really seen an announcer do that.
Really do that ever, right? Like, for a player. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It seemed like he had, like, he was offended by it almost. That, people didn't appreciate him for what he was. And there was a tweet I saw that it basically went through the defensive rankings over the last however many years. Dude, it was, for like, I think it highlighted 2000, maybe 13 through, I don't know, through now. It's consistently like 24, 24, 20. Here it is. So our best rated defense that we've had since 2008 was in the 2010 season. We had the number 8 ranked defense, right? And the offense was number 5. Other than that, and so other than 2010, we've got 2008, 19th, 24th, 17th, 14th, 32nd, which is dead last if you're not, 28th. And now here's 2015 to 2020, 24th, 24th, 25th, 30th, 27th, 23rd. And this year so far, 30th.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So no offensive line, or less off, or not much of an offensive line. Plus you're playing with the bottom of the barrel defensive squad.
Plus you playing with no running game.
Yeah, and you still see those tweets.
So that's what Troy was saying. Yeah, Troy was just saying, like, man, y'all knew this dude don't got shit. Like, this dude play with shit and he do this. So that's what I be saying. But like, I'm just glad like somebody reputable.
Yeah, like seeing the stuff online still. But when people are, those trolls that are like, man, Matt, he's not no franchise QB. I don't know what y'all looking at, all that stuff. I just block those people now because you clearly just don't watch the game, or you just don't like Matt Ryan. Right. You don't understand football. You don't.
And I'm gonna be honest. I hate to pull that card, but the fact of it is, you don't understand football. You don't even understand the sport of football. Like, for you to talk like that, like I said, you a Buffalo Wild Wings fan. You wear the jersey, you have a few beers, and you talk about it on a very surface level, but you don't understand football for real.
Yeah. So that's our defending Matt Ryan segment for this week. Yes. We'll be back next week.
Weekly segment. Weekly. Yeah. With your beloved Matt Ryan.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So guys, with the salary cap now, this is what we're looking at. So just overall numbers, we have a maximum salary cap of 185 million, just over 180, almost 186 million. So with our active contracts, we're at 138 million, 890 million. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, almost 139 million dollars, basically where we're at. We're paying almost 8 million to the guys that are on injured reserve right now. We have about just over $1 million in cap space available at this moment. And I was wrong. Last week, I think, like I said, we were paying 22 million in dead cap, or we had 20. It's almost 28. It's 27 million. It's 27.
Jesus.
606,000. Yeah.
This year or next year, you saying?
This year, right? Both? Yeah, for 21. Okay. So we're paying guys almost $30 million to players who aren't playing for us.
Yeah.
So looking at the individual guys, and we've got one player signed beyond 2025, and that's Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
A lot of these players that we have right now are on 1-year deals. And that's some of those guys that we talked about that Fontenot picked up, or that, to basically, and honestly, man, so we've got, and I said earlier about Dante Fowler not being cheap. So, he was on a 3-year deal at $45 million.
See, that's
average salary of $15 million. Now it does expire in 2022, which is
a
plus. Looking at other notables that expires in 2022, Hayden Hurst, he's going to be off the books then. I don't see us bringing him back. Isaiah Oliver, I do think we probably re-sign him if he comes off his injury pretty well. Because like I said, I think he was heading north. Cordell Patterson, I think we got to bring him back.
At least try.
He's at $3 million, but his estimated market value right now is $6 million. So he's doubled his market value with what he's done this year. But he's so important to this, I think, to Smith's offense.
Yep.
And no matter who we bring in from the draft or what possible free agent we can get, I think that, we got to bring him back. Russell Gage is done in 22. I think Foyer's done in 2022. I think they're going to obviously bring him back.
I will go down there myself and for that.
Yeah, Zacchaeus is 2022. Eric Harris is 2022. There's a long laundry list of guys, man. Deron Harmon, Stephen Means, our punter Dustin Colquitt, Josh Harris, our long snapper. Young Ho Koo is on there. 2022. Sharps 2022. Wayne Gallman's 2022. Just a laundry list of guys, man. But so a lot of the guys I just mentioned too are very cheap. They're not hurting the salary cap at all, really.
Yeah.
They're far down the line.
We're gonna have a whole new team in like 2 years.
And we're
gonna have a whole new team.
So these are the ones that expire in 2023, 24. So we got Jake Matthews in 2023 is when his expires. I don't know how they're going to go there because depending on how we draft, and he's going to be a little older, clearly, but if he's still performing, who knows? I don't know what they're going to do there. Grady Jarrett and Matt Ryan are both 2024. And that's unless we extend Matt, which I'll get to in a second. Then we've got, let's see, I already said Dante's in 2022. Deion Jones is 24, which at this point, dude, I almost see them letting either trading Deion or I just don't know.
I'm not a fan of that because what he does, he's the best in the league for the new style of like running back. Who can do everything, who can pass, catch, and do everything. He's the best in the league at stopping. Like if he can shut Kamara down for them, like he'll be good for McCaffrey and all them. He's great in that instance. I think you lose a lot giving him up, but he is expensive. Man,
he will be. And the thing is, his biggest assets is speed, right? Yeah. So he'll be 2-3 years older in 2024. So
that's true.
You're naturally going to get a little bit. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how that plays out. Like I said, Pitts is here to 2026. Chris Lindstrom, 2024, which I think, he's been of the offensive line. He's been one of the better ones. He's not fantastic, but he's not terrible either. AJ Terrell, 2025. I think there's no question if we can afford to keep him. Caleb McGarry, 2024. I would like to see him go away before then, personally. To me, that is, of the two linemen that we drafted, and that, him and Lindstrom, I'd much rather keep Lindstrom. I don't think McGarry's got it. Because we've had 3 years. This is his third year, and there's not been a ton of just like, he's the guy at right tackle. I don't see it.
And it ain't been a ton of nothing from him.
Like I said, so those are the big names. And Mike Davis, 2023, I would like to get out of that contract.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
He's a great dude, but he's not. And then Russell Gage, we already said 22. Marlon Davison, who was a rookie, last year. I thought he was going to be big for the middle part of that defensive line. Hadn't really come to fruition yet, but he's done in 24. Richie Grant is done in 25. We didn't touch on Richie Grant at all. We both have been talking about how we like to see him on the field more. Well, we did. He didn't exactly impress. And I guess we were probably right. He probably just hasn't grasped it as much as some of the other guys. And that's why he's not out there as much. But with the injuries that we had, he had to be out there.
Because he should have been out. Yeah, yep.
So hopefully he keeps progressing and comes along. Matt Hennessy done in 24. I would not be upset if they went and got a new center before then. Unless he makes some kind of dramatic change. I can't see it.
Which is, he won't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it yet. So like looking at the biggest cap hits, obviously Matt, number one. He's a $26 million cap hit. Grady, number 2 at 20. And then goes down to Jake at 12, Dante Fowler at almost 11. And then it drops pretty drastic. Deion at 6, Kyle at 5, and then on down the list. So talking about extending Matt. So this is per Kevin Knight. He writes for the Falcoholic, and he had a few tweets that after we were talking about it came out, and he perfectly describes it. So basically, this is what the tweet says: Atlanta passed on a QB at 4 and did nearly a max restructure with Ryan. His 2022 cap hit is $48 million. That's next year. So next year Matt will be owed, I think, because when they restructured his contract, they pushed a lot of the money to the back end, right, to make room for other stuff. So it's already been restructured.
Right.
So next year,
Biscuit liking this. Biscuit liking what you saying, Johnny.
He's loving it.
Biscuit liking this Matty talk.
Please continue.
I swear to God, he's wagging his tail. Look at him. He's wagging his tail. He's so excited. Please continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Matt's salary next year is $48 million, and then 43 in 2023. So massive hits, right? I mean, those are massive. So there's no way if you're going to keep Matt that you can't really extend him, because we're not going to have any money. I mean, as of today, we don't have enough money to sign our draft picks in 2022.
Right.
You've got to make something. So anyway, I'll finish his tweet here. And again, this is from Kevin Knight at the Falcoholic. The first is an extension. Falcons could free up as much as $18 million in 2022. And there's Biscuit. Look at that dude.
Biscuit. He's excited. He trying to hear what you talk. He heard this Matty talk, man. He here for it.
All right. So anyway, they could free up as much as $18 million in 2022 and even more in 2023 potentially if they extend them. Second would be a post June 1st trade, which that would free up $23.75 million. But trying to pull off a trade that late is very risky, and you're probably not going to get great value back. A straight up trade would free up only $8 million and cost the Falcons to eat $40 million of dead cap space. So, which they probably get better draft compensation out of it, but then you're just chalking up 2022 to a lost season, because you can't compete with $40 million of dead cap just from one player. That's not even including Julio's dead cap next year is like 15.5.
15. All right.
So you would literally chalk up 2022 to as we're just going to show up and probably not going to win a game. Yeah. So to me, the true only option is to extend Matt and free up 18 next year and potentially more the following year. And then we've got a lot more space to
okay, two things. One is, who wrote that article and where'd you get it from?
That was Kevin Knight, the Falcoholic.
That is amazing, man. We've needed that article to really comprehend what the situation was for so long. Thank you, buddy. Jesus, he hit that on but then two, would you like that? Or is that something?
No, I would, because the thing is,
I would love, because
Matt, look, we've talked about it every week, because Matt's not shown me that he's done.
Fine. That I'm with you 100%.
So if we can actually build a line, dude, I don't see why he can't continue to succeed with an actual, NFL offensive line. And hope to God that we get Calvin back. And if not, we're going to end up, going after a receiver at some point anyway.
He is not in decline. So I wouldn't mind a 4 or 5 year. No, I wouldn't mind.
No, me either.
I would not mind. Until he starts showing me that you costing us games with your arm and your decision making, I'm going to be on board with Matty the whole time. Man, what you saying just really making me happy, man. I'm not being funny. I would like him to retire a Falcon.
Me too. No, I would too. And like I said, and like you said last week, if he starts all of a sudden, he can't throw anything and he just drops off a cliff, then we'll be the first ones to say, all right, well, time to move on. But I just haven't seen that yet. What I've seen is so many other issues around him and so many issues on the defense that if we correct those things, you don't correct what's not broke yet, right? You don't fix that yet.
Yep.
Because it's not broke. You got to fix what's broke, which is a lot of things. So anyway, by him extending it will free up a ton of space. And looking at 2022, this is just the overall cap allocation. So we'd be at once, and this is just if nobody signed or if anything else. So we've got 62 players signed to contracts in 2021. Going into 22, we only have 28 currently signed. through 2022. Okay. Through 23, we only have 20 players signed through 2023. And through 2024, we've only got 10 players signed. So what you said about going to be a completely different team in the next few years.
Yes.
Very, very possible. Because,
yep.
Because we've got contracts that are running out over the next 3 years, a lot of contracts. There's going to be a lot of decisions that they have to make.
I think that was strategic, and that's why they signed them to the 1 year, 2 year deals. I think they're probably like, we redoing all this.
Well, you got to see what you got. You got to see
what you got and on a temporary basis.
Right. Yeah. See what you have on the field now. See who's worth extending. See who's not worth extending. See what we can do in the draft. And like we talked about last week, you know, they're not going to be able. Their margin for error with the draft is going to be so slim. They're going to have to hit. And
I mean, it's a must.
Yeah, and go
get Le'Veon Bell.
And I might suggest to look at maybe some University of Georgia players, some Alabama players, because those guys tend to. I mean, I'm speaking in a broad generality here, but those guys seem to pan out pretty well in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just look at the Patriots. I mean, their center, Boss Andrews. That dude wasn't even drafted. Belichick came down here to Georgia to check him out. He's under our nose, man. He's in Athens. He could have been our center for the next 10 years or for 10 years. I mean,
But see, stop going to Jack Nicholson.
That was TD, man.
Community college. Good and Lord. Being like, like it's a tight end here. He's 6'6". I don't know him. He might be a diamond in the rough. And then he end up, man, just being in the rough.
Yeah.
A log of poo in the rough, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, but that was TD, man. He would be like, oh, well, here, I've got this guy right here who's been 3 years at Alabama and, you know, all SEC, but I've got this guy at Richmond who has, you know, like I went and saw play once. And I think, you know, I mean, come on. It's just, you ain't got to be the smartest guy in the room, man. And sometimes it's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just watch film. You know, you can see which guys you know translate to the NFL. It doesn't work all the time. You can't always. It's nothing's a guarantee. But I mean, like I said, I would look strongly at the SEC and a few teams in the Big Ten and those players. I mean, there's a center right now. Actually, I can't remember his name for Iowa. That dude, man, he's allowed, I think, 7 pressures in his total career.
Man, I'm being honest, man. I'm going offensive line all the way. I'm going in that draft and I'm saying we getting this offensive line. If we going to extend him to save money, then we're keeping him. If we keeping him, man, the older you get and he not mobile, we got to invest in this, man. We got for us to have a shot at any type of future with Atlanta Falcon football. The first thing got to be the offensive line. You're gonna waste a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to have every record, every statistic and all that, and without a ring, because you never gave him a real chance to win.
Correct. Yeah, I could not agree more, dude. And you got to start there. Defensive line, probably second. You need a cornerback bad. You need a wide receiver bad. I mean, like there's so many different spots, but I mean, I think like we said before, you got to start on the line. I mean, both lines. And not to interrupt our salary cap talk, but we just got tweeted by our buddy Rodney Mays, and he said, watching the Packers can't help but wonder what would have happened in 2017 if Matt LaFleur had been named OC instead of Steve Sarkisian being brought in. Don't recall if LaFleur was given any consideration or not, but seems to be like he's doing pretty well for himself. I thought the same thing, dude. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
that dude. I mean, I thought I don't know if he got a look or not, but the fact that we let him get away after he was under Shanahan and he had kind of understood what was going on there. And
I think that's a great point by Rodney. Yeah, that's a great point, Rodney.
Yeah, but
and we all just get along.
Yeah, thanks for the tweet. Just happened to do it right while we were recording. How about that?
Yeah.
So anyway, guys,
made the show live on the show. There you go, Rodney. Good timing, buddy.
But yeah, man, that kind of winds up the salary cap. So hopefully you guys have a better kind of understanding of really what kind of shithole that we're in at the moment.
Yes.
The fact that we literally have $1 million and we can't go out and sign what we want.
And John just proved it would be the smartest move and most efficient move to keep Matty Ice for the next few.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can still go draft a quarterback a couple of years from now.
Yeah,
I mean, but there makes no sense.
And even he gonna need the offensive line. So go ahead and address that.
I mean, if we did do a post June 1st trade like Kevin in that article or in the tweet alluded to, it is highly risky because a lot of teams are already kind of set by June 1st. I mean, they've already went through OTAs. We're getting close to the preseason at that point. So the chances of you finding a partner slim to none, and the fact that you're not going to get as much back, probably more than likely. And you don't want to let go of Matt Ryan without getting
that back, because you'll get way more value if you keep it. So this is probably a stupid analogy, but I think it's spot on. If you have a older vehicle that runs perfectly, right? It has absolutely no problem, but it has 145,000 miles on it. But this thing it is not your main car, but you have it. It runs perfectly. If you was to take that car and try to trade it in, you may get like $2,000 for that car, if that, because of the mileage and everything. But if you kept it, the value to you keeping it, it's a whole like working vehicle that's paid off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's way more valuable if you keep it to where if you try to bargain it for something else. That's what Matt Ryan is. He's an old Crown Victoria. He's a 2011 Crown Vic. He is that, like, because he's way more valuable for us to keep. Matter of fact, he could take us to the playoffs and even the Super Bowl. He's that talented. If you try to get rid of him, you won't get what something valuable in return. You'll get some draft picks, like 3-4 rounders and some,
right.
Not gonna get your worth.
And we didn't mention Calvin really in the salary talk, but since his status is kind of up in the air, he is due $11 million next year, and then he's off the books after that. So I hope to God, number one, he comes back and he's okay mentally and everything else in his life is good. But they'll have to make a decision there. I mean, I think if he's healthy and he's playing like we know he's capable of playing, that's somebody you're going to keep on the team. But there has to be.
But if he and he has to kind of, and I'm not saying this right, I'm just saying it's business. You have to come off like, man, this is a one-time thing. You was going through something one time that you want. Just it's not like you're gonna have a reoccurring.
You hope not. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and then of course he's.
If they even smell a problem, it'll be like, nah. I mean, never mind. You can go somewhere else with that. So
yeah. And I mean, looking at the entire receiver core, man. I mean, Russell Gage 22, Zacchaeus 22, Sharp 22, Blake 22. That's it. We got Frank Darby, who is a rookie who hadn't really seen the field all that much. He signed through 24. But so I mean, we're gonna have a whole new receiving core unless we bring back a few of these guys. I mean,
man, I look forward to a whole new team. I'm being honest. I like I want people that's just gonna rumble. I look forward to keeping a few players, but I think that this plan was an overtime plan. I don't think it was like we see what you do this year. I think it was like we gonna give you a few because we.
Yeah, man. I think that I think you're right. I think with Fontenot coming out saying that no, this is not a rebuild. We want to win now. I think this is what you have to say. I guess. Yeah. In his position, you can't come out and say, "Well, we're gonna suck this year." I mean, probably gonna suck next year, but our plan is, what I mean. Your fans don't want to hear that. They want to hear that you're in it now. But also, I just think fans want you to be honest too, to an extent. So, I mean, honestly, if they had come out and said, you know what, we've got some holes and we got to rebuild and we're going to have to, this is where we're at salary wise, and this is what we were left with, and this is, this is what we're dealing with. I think that most fans would have been like, all right, I understand. I mean, that's where we're at. Yeah, that's where we're at. I mean, those fans that are out there, like we talked about last week, that are constantly dogging the team and nothing's ever good enough. Well, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, go be a fan of the Patriots or whatever team is winning that year. You go ahead and be a fan of those teams, those guys. But I mean, if you're jumping off the ship now, I don't want to see you jumping back on or yelling back on. Whenever we're winning again, because. I mean, that's just not being a fan, man. I mean,
it could be way different next season, but if you dogging it now, then you only reap the rewards when you stay down now, and then you come up later and you're like, see, man, I was down when we sucked.
Yeah, because I mean, you're either a fan or you're not. I mean, and of course, like we said, you can be critical, you can be frustrated. We're critical and frustrated every week, pretty much. But it's our team, man. We love them. It's our team. I mean, it's period. I mean, we're gonna support them regardless. I mean,
if you had a kid that played sports and he played the sport, just say you went to go see him play, and you just knew in your heart, my son is the worst on the team. You still go see him play. You still love him the same. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, they get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. I could care less. I'll be back on Sunday watching like they won the last 2.
Dude, I'm still going Fanatics. I'm still going to buy me a shirt, a jersey, a hat.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to stop spending money on the team just because they suck.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know they're not sucking because they want to suck. There's no player on that team that goes to the stadium and says, I hope I suck today, or I plan to suck today. Like they're going to go out there for the most part and they're going to give 100%. Those that don't, they don't last in the NFL, man. There's a reason that the average career of NFL players 3 to 5 years. A lot of them just get handled, a lot of them get injured. But.
And I want y'all to know something too. When y'all are actually live at the game, your participation means something, man. When y'all cheering, it gives the team electricity.
Hell yeah!
And when you sleep, it can drain them if you're not, participating. So like, man, they be needing y'all sometimes to be crazy and to be faithful, man. So try to hang in there and be a bit more positive, y'all.
Yeah, agreed. So anyway, Mike, that pretty much covers this week, man. The only thing else I'm going to say, and it's not football related, is I am 1 episode away from finishing the 3rd season of You. And
amazing,
shit,
right?
Man.
Yeah, genius writers, the way they took you through that whole thing and kept you for 3 seasons interested. Man, and the dude is he gonna be famous after this. He can get any role he want.
We tried to finish it last night, but we just fell asleep and couldn't. But yeah, we'll finish it tonight. But
so you on the season that has the girl being the same as he is, right?
Season 3, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The newest one. And
I just thought it was great.
Did you finish Midnight Mass?
Yeah, I did. It was, man, that's a crazy, when they tried to leave them all and they tried to cut the boats in the sun. That was crazy, man. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
But I told you kind of like 15 minutes into that last one, you kind of figured, okay, everybody's gonna burn.
Yep.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen
that's what they did. Yeah. Y'all got to check those out. And man, underrated live hockey.
Yes.
Underrated live hockey. You got to go see live hockey. It is not boring in person. It's not.
No, but just know if you get the gift bag, it's going to be not great.
It's not great. And I feel like I should get credit or a statue for like the progress that I did for civil rights, being the first Black man ever at a hockey game. I just want to say
maybe a Gwinnett Gladiators.
Yeah, right. Right.
I think there are like 2 Black players in NHL. I think there's definitely one. Yeah, there might be a few. Yeah.
I just thought it was cool, man, and everyone was cool to us. It was an awesome time. We had a great time, man. It was dope. It was dope. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't awkward at all. Yeah.
Welcome. But, are you lost?
Yeah. No, like the basketball game is around back. We know. Are you looking for the youth basketball? But then I thought that. So when she won, I just thought maybe kind of. It was like, man, hey, that's kind of dope that they're here, and we would like them to tell their friends and come back. So pick them. Because I'm thinking randomly the seat you chose. Come on. It was the chocolate covered seat. We would get out of here. But when I tell you, like we was into the game, man, them people fly, man. They fly
on the skates.
I mean, you gotta go if y'all, and it's not expensive to go see live hockey, especially it's just, I don't think it is that expensive like it is for football and basketball, John.
Dude, I couldn't tell you, man. Not in NHL, I couldn't tell you. I know obviously minor league is not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not. It really wasn't. So y'all, really great seat. We sat in front. We saw a few fights. Amazing experience, man. Great.
You should try to go up to Nashville one year and see the Nashville Predators. That's an easy.
I heard that was a good team too.
Yeah, it is a good team. It's a good team.
Yeah, I heard they was into that. Yeah. Oh, they just won a few years ago, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
They won.
Yeah. I don't keep up with it as much as I used to. Like when we had the Thrashers, I watched quite a bit. I just haven't watched
underrated
for years. Yeah.
Underrated live hockey. Y'all gotta check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Expand your horizons.
Yes, sir. So Mike, we will be back to preview the Jaguars, which will be a hell of a preview show, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got to have some fun. Yeah, we deserve some.
Yeah. So you guys can follow us on Instagram at Out of Your Falcon Mind. You can tweet us like Rodney did during the show here at Out of Your Effing Mind. And you can join the Facebook group at Out of Your Falcon Mind. Just search it. It should come up. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify or iTunes or wherever, Overcast. If you're listening to us on iTunes, like we've asked before, and so many of you already have posted a 5-star review or wrote some nice words about us, we greatly appreciate it because, like I said, that helps other Falcons fans when they search for Falcons podcast. We move up that list. And we get higher and higher up the list, so people can click on us and start listening to us, and hopefully, keep growing the way we're growing. You can email us at atlfalconfancast@gmail.com. You can send in anything you want related to the Falcons or the show. And like we talked about a few weeks ago, we're going to start taking submissions for basically if you're a Falcons fan that's outside of the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
Because I figure we're going to be.
So I got a name. I don't know if you want. It was like. You know how we use Falcon in the saying?
Oh yeah,
Falcon where? But you know how I mean to say it. Falcon where? Yeah, where in the Falcon are? Hey, that's even better. Where in the Falcon are you? Yeah,
perfect. That's the name of it.
So that's the name of it.
Yeah. So where in the Falcon are you? Yeah. So
where in the Falk?
Yeah.
Where in the Falk?
Yeah. So yeah, if you're outside of Georgia, like I said, we've got one lined up to come on the show with us, and we'll probably do this, like I said, during the playoffs because let's be honest, we're not going to be talking about pre-games and recaps. So we would love, like I said, to hear though, if you're not from Georgia, how you became a Falcons fan, why you became a Falcons fan, who's your favorite player, who is that, why you became a fan, a coach, a uniform, you just like
I if you've been to the game,
yeah, I
tweeted seen them live.
I tweeted out this earlier in the week about this segment, and I also said, or if that if you just are trying to punish yourself for something that you did in a previous life, and that's why you became a Falcons fan.
Yes.
It's all possible. So
yeah.
But regardless of the reason, we want to hear it. You can email us. You can send us a message on the on our social media platforms. If you are interested in coming on the show, let us know when you send us those stories, because that way we can get with you and try to set it up. So yeah, we look forward to that though, because I think that'll be fun to go through. But that's it, guys. We recap the Patriots game. We talked about some salary cap, some Netflix, some Gwinnett Gladiator hockey. We heard Biscuit.
We heard Biscuit. Biscuit went off as soon as John said, "Man, I think we might extend Matt." Biscuit just went crazy. Really excited about that. Really excited. I'm not lying. I didn't know that. That honestly made my week, man.
Yeah, man. I think
I'm not right.
I think it's pretty solid chance that happens. But anyway, guys, that is Out of Your Falcon Mind for episode 11. We will be back probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep.
For the pregame show, and that'll be out later that night. And that'll be it. So you guys have a great rest of what's left of your weekend, and start to your Thanksgiving week. Oh shoot, man! It is Thanksgiving week, isn't it?
It is Thanksgiving. So when should we give them? Should we give them it Wednesday so they can listen Thursday?
Well, here's the only thing is we're going to the Fantasy of Lights on Thursday, or on Wednesday, which is down in Callaway Gardens. It's like a family tradition.
You want to give it to them Tuesday?
Maybe just
Tuesday. Drop it on
maybe Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe Tuesday. We won't have a bunch of injury information, but that's okay.
But we have some information by Tuesday.
Yeah, we can do that. So let's shoot for Tuesday, and then we'll have it out there. You guys will have 4 or 5 days of opportunity to listen to it before the game. So anyway, we appreciate
the Thanksgiving special out of your mind. Okay.
That's right. How about it? So that's it, guys. Out of Your Falcon Mind, and we will catch you guys, I guess, on Tuesday. Mike?
Later. I love you guys. Peace. Hey. Live hockey. Go check it out. Peace.
We out.